to Tina Butty Podcast. I'm Erica.
And I'm Dominic.
And today we are going to talk about a very serious, very somber
serious subject. Yes.
Which I'm surprised we've never actually had this discussion on the podcast before.
No, we haven't, have we?
No.
Have we? No.
I don't think so.
No.
The topic is whether or not Dominic would ever consider becoming an American citizen. I was going to say a British citizen. Would you consider becoming a British citizen?
Well, you're just giving them all the secrets, aren't you? Would I ever become a British citizen? I'll have you know.
Whether he would consider becoming an American citizen, and if so, would he consider giving up his British citizenship?
Give it up, baby, give it up. Na 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 na.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I can just sit back and let you go in this one.
Well, thank you very much. I would consider it.
Would you? Oh, you're going to get right into it, are you?
I'm going to get right into it. I would consider it.
Really?
But
you know what? I don't think you and I have ever even had this topic not on the podcast.
Well, not even thing. You never really asked me because my renewal comes up in a couple of years.
Is it
for my green card? Yeah,
I thought it's like 4 years still. Is it just 2 years?
2020.
Oh Jesus! How much does that cost?
Oh, it's I don't know how much it's going to cost, but yeah, they'll inevitably ask me, "Why haven't you started the process yet? What's going on?"
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, the officer does come and go. Yeah. Well, what was it the last time we went there to like get my green card? It was like 2013, was it?
I don't remember.
Or 2014 maybe?
I'm not sure.
And we went to the office and they were just like, "Okay, yeah, you're obviously still married, this is legit. You should just go ahead and apply for US citizenship if you want and get everything in order."
I don't remember her saying that. She was just like, "Oh, if you ever want to apply for US citizenship." Because, I mean...
She was a little rushed off her feet that day.
I can't imagine... I mean, what do they gain? Well, no, what do they gain by people becoming
I gain the right to vote.
Well, yeah. No, but I mean,
and I gain a passport.
What does the country gain? Not...
What do you mean, what does the country gain?
I know.
It gains me! Becomes all the more greater. All the more free.
Nothing against you in particular, but what does the country gain by people becoming U.S. citizens? I wonder what is in it for them.
Tax. That's what's in it for them.
You pay taxes anyway, though, don't you?
Well, yeah, I do. But if I left and moved back to the UK and I wouldn't have to pay tax here anymore.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little later on. That little interesting thing I found out.
But the thing is if you do not become a citizen.
Yeah.
You just renew.
I keep renewing.
You keep giving them money every 10 years or so, just for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life, yeah, and or unless you move away, and just let it expire. And
I would think that they would like that better.
Maybe,
quite frankly.
I mean, maybe,
Yeah. But it would be nice for you to be able to vote. I would enjoy
voting and having a passport to get through well, I mean, at this point in time, it's like nobody's going anywhere. But when travel does open up, it's nice to be able to go through. Yeah. To have the citizen line. Yeah.
It's faster.
Yeah, faster.
Less hassle.
Yeah. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
I mean, technically, I don't know if we've talked about this either, actually, in the podcast. Technically, when you're married to an American citizen, depending on the passport officer that you get, the spouse of an American citizen can go through the citizen's
Well, I mean,
line.
every time you've been through the UK, every time we fly into Heathrow or, something like that, which we haven't done in years, obviously, but I was like, yeah, just come through with me because the international line is so long and just come through with me, they'll let you through. because you're
Yeah.
married to me. I've got a passport. We can, and
and it's
just-
no problem
they can
at all.
check. It's no problem at all because
They're
they,
just
they,
like, yeah.
oh hi, thankfully we haven't got, no, can't do that, mate. Sorry,
No.
you'll have to split up here, and you'll have to come through here, and she'll have to go through there.
No, we're just like, I think we did ask somebody before we got in line, because it's like, oh, you don't want to wait in line forever just to go, oh no, I can't process you through here.
Why not?
They're like, yeah, you're married, just go through the line together, that's
Yeah.
fine, yeah. We were hassled on this end, though.
On this end, yeah, no,
Just
we
once.
tried to go through the thing, goes, oh, okay, I'm going to let you through this time, but next time you've got to go through the international line, because...
And if you look it
the
up
way we do things here.
And if you look it up online, it's basically just the passport, what are they called? Officer?
Customs officer.
Passport control.
Border force guy.
Yeah. It's up to the agent.
Yeah.
It's up to the individual person whether or not they'll...
Yes.
They'll,
it's how benevolent they're feeling that day. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So interesting. Okay, so you would consider becoming a U.S. citizen just for the benefits of being
just
a
for
US
the
citizen?
benefits of being one, yeah. And yeah,
because I think that's a difficult decision for a lot of people to make when they move to another country.
it's like, do I become a citizen? Do I, because I mean, some countries require you to give up the citizenship of your birth to become a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
America doesn't, but that's only if you don't shout about it.
Yeah. So they don't, in the United States, they don't officially recognize dual citizenship. I guess they do in some countries. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't think they do in the UK either. I could be wrong, though. I haven't looked it up.
And basically the reason why is
They may do.
because it just would cause too much hassle. Like, say Dominic was a criminal mastermind and he got arrested.
Yeah.
The United States might not be able to punish him in the way they would a citizen because he has British citizenship.
Yeah, and I could just claim asylum.
Oh, I'm not a citizen of this country.
I'd be like some kind
demand to
Julian
go.
Assange.
Yeah, I demand to go. I demand to be processed in Britain, not here.
I demand to be extradited to Britain. Then I can come back and continue with my criminal mastermindery.
Yeah. So they don't officially recognize it
because it's frowned upon, basically. Because it's just like it's more hassle for us to.
Well, I don't know that it's frowned upon, but they just don't officially recognize it. That way they can go, nah, that doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
That doesn't exist.
Like, oh no, you've
surrender your passport, sir.
Yeah. Oh, you've become a citizen over here. You're no longer a citizen of Britain. When really you are. You become citizen and you become subject to all the laws and everything.
Not saying that I'm not subject to the laws of the land now as a resident alien or whatever. Yeah, a permanent resident is what they call it, because, they're getting rid of the term resident alien.
I mean, as a resident, they can kick you out still if you do something
if I do
wrong.
something extremely bad, I mean, they're not going to kick me out for, traffic violations or anything like that. I mean, they may do if I rack up enough of them, but it's like I'd have to do something really bad, like murder or
Well, even
theft,
like tax evasion or some sort of tax fraud and anything like that, they would go, get him out of here.
Get him out of here and get the money back.
Send him back to his country,
Yeah.
But if you became a U.S. citizen, they'd have to let you stay here. They just
if I was doing some tax evasion, they'd be like, you can live here. It's all right. We can't send you anywhere now.
Oh, you old American rascal, you.
You Al Capone, you. What are you up to, bootlegging in Chicago?
But you wouldn't, I don't know, you don't...
I don't evade tax?
You get the benefits of living here.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't feel weird about that? About becoming an American citizen and officially being American?
I could easily become a citizen of Brazil. Or Canada, that would be, fine, I'd still be an American citizen because they're on the American continent, you see?
You wouldn't feel You wouldn't feel anything, like, in your heart.
In my heart. In my heart.
You wouldn't feel weird about it at all.
No.
You know, because
I don't think so. No, I mean, you're saying this. You probably would then, if the situation was reversed.
To become a citizen
of Britain or the UK or something, you'd be like, feel something in your heart. You just be like that when you're at the swearing-in ceremony and all. I just like, I can't go through with this. I can't do this to the country that I love. Can't do this to Texas.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how I would. I can't do this to Texas.
Can't do this to Texas.
They need me.
They need me. I can't give them up.
I don't know. You know, it's a little bit, you know, would I feel some sort of like identity crisis?
Well, I mean, you'd feel that anyway, no matter whether living there. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I would like to say that that I think I could become a British citizen and be fine. Now the next part of this question, though, and I guess I'll answer it too since you've asked me. But the next part of the question, then, because you've said you think you could become a U.S. citizen, but if you became a U.S. citizen, would you then renounce your British citizenship, or would you just be a quote-unquote dual citizen?
Yeah, I'd become a dual citizen.
Yeah.
Because to renounce my citizenship, then I'd have to have been wronged by my country, you know, in some way, which I haven't been.
So you wouldn't feel weird becoming
feel becoming American, but I wouldn't, like...
But you would feel weird to officially not be British anymore.
Yes, officially say, no, I'm not British anymore, you know, because I can't think of any examples where... I think maybe Anthony Hopkins did. But I think he just wanted to become an American citizen.
I know Craig...
And people were just kind of like going, oh, I thought he was Welsh.
I know Craig Ferguson became an American citizen.
He didn't renounce his British citizenship, though.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a thing, you know. It's like, why would he have done that, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he did, I don't know. We'll have to ask him when he's next on, you know.
When we have him on the podcast.
When you have him on the podcast. But, you know, I don't think he did. Because, I mean, it's kind of like... You renouncing your citizenship of a country is kind of like you disagreeing with that country. You know, it's like someone renouncing their American citizenship, you know, which I think a couple of people have thought about doing, you know, that they're living in the UK, living wherever. I'm going to renounce my my US citizenship not because of like, you know, government things.
Well, I was going to say every time somebody is up for election that, you know, a majority of people don't like.
Well, that's it. I'm moving to Canada.
Yes, I'm no longer American.
Well, that's it. Guess I'm moving to England, you know? And it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You've never moved off your couch, mate, so...
I mean, that would be a weird thing, wouldn't it? Because you'd renounce your British citizenship.
I don't know,
and then you'd go back to Britain and you couldn't live there, even if you wanted to.
You'd have to become a citizen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be bizarre?
That would be bizarro world. Yeah, that would be really weird, actually. Imagine going back there and they're like, oh, I thought you were British, you got the accent and all that, you know, and it's like, no, not British anymore, me.
Oh, I'm just here to visit family.
I'm just here to visit family.
And they're just like, oh, okay, well, you can only stay, you know, 6 months.
6 months.
And then you gotta...
This is not your home anymore, sir.
That would be so weird.
It's like,
I'm the same.
This is not your home anymore, sir.
I'm the same. I'm the same, except for the point that you're going to make it here in just a minute. I think I'm the same as in regards to feeling it in my heart. You know,
I feel it in my heart.
I would be able to become a British citizen, but I don't know that I could bring myself to renounce my American citizenship.
Well, no, it's handy to have, isn't it? You know?
Keep it because it's handy.
It's handy, yeah, you know, it's just like, You go into flying to America. Oh, I don't have American citizenship. I can't get through the line. I'm gonna have to wait with the commoners.
Yeah.
You know, wait with all the other people who are just visiting.
It's handy to be citizen of as many places as possible. To be honest.
Well, yes. I mean that. There we go. Right. Okay. That's a new goal for our patron.
What's that?
Fund us going around the world. Picking up citizenship of all the countries in the world so we don't ever have to go through an international line ever again.
All right, you patrons, you've heard your objective.
Yeah. Fund us, we'll do Canada, we'll do Greenland. Well, that's actually Denmark, so we'll do Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Ireland, every country, we'll just have all these passports. We'll just come through with a big stack of them, just like, which one's the British one? Which country are we in now?
Yeah. Yeah, it would just be too weird. I think I would enjoy being able to say, oh yes, I'm a citizen of the United Kingdom. Oh yes, I'm a citizen of America, yes. But I don't think I could, it would just be too weird. I couldn't say, oh no, I'm no longer a citizen of the United States. I mean, unless I got really fed up.
If they were doing stuff, if they were just like,
Yeah. I mean, and that is nothing against anybody who does renounce their
the persecution by one's own government is never a good thing.
Well, let's talk about persecution because
we're going to talk about tax right now.
Because in theory,
legal persecution.
you would consider becoming a United States citizen in theory, but probably not in reality.
Yes, once I heard about this little loophole, which is very strange.
It's disgusting.
It's weird. I'm sure other countries do it, but the UK doesn't. But I'd never heard of this before, and I certainly thought the US wouldn't, But then again, how do you think it funds its military? The US military is funded by all these taxpayers,
Yeah.
So they need the money.
It's something that
no matter if you live in the US or not.
It's something you just never, ever, ever hear about. And I guess why would you if you're not somebody who has considered living outside of the United States? Why would you have ever heard about this? Or if you don't have a relative who does live outside of the United States, why would you have ever heard about this? But we're talking about the tax situation. Yeah.
Your tax eligibility, really. You'd think, okay, I've moved to the UK. Mm-hmm. Erica's moved to the UK. And, I'm working for a British company. Yeah. I'm making money and I'm living in the UK and I haven't been back to the US in years. But every year the US sends me a tax return, or they send me a tax return and say, your taxes are due.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're a US citizen or resident alien, the rules for filing income, estate, and gift tax returns and paying estimated tax are generally the same whether you are in the United States or abroad. Your worldwide income is subject to US income tax regardless of where you reside.
Or for how long. You can I could move to Britain and live there for the rest of my life, live and work there, and be paying the United States government tax for the rest of my life, even if I never set foot back in the United States.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And it makes me feel like
and that's from the IRS website. That's not from like someone's opinion or whatever. You know, that's direct from the IRS website. That.
And it makes me feel like
it's kind of like, why did you become independent again? Wasn't it something to do with tax? Was it some unfair tax?
Wasn't it like,
you're being taxed from this foreign shore? Foreign power that's not even anything. Well, and I think someone tried to like reason that without saying, well, the US is everywhere these days, so you're likely to be working for an American company, so your money's ours.
Yeah. And it's enough to make me feel like if you and I moved to Britain at some point, I I guess...
Are you going to renounce it?
I guess...
You going to do it?
I guess not have to work or renounce my American citizenship.
Or evade the tax. Wesley Snipes.
I mean, because let's say, we're doing this podcast through Anchor. It's distributed to all the other podcast
Apple,
platforms.
yeah. I mean,
they're American platforms, though. I think, that they're distributed to.
Yeah.
So
that makes kind of sense.
And you guys, we're not making anything off this podcast.
Yeah, we're not making millions.
But let's say,
if we were, then we're very much miserly people.
Let's say in the future the podcast grew. And,
yes.
And we were able to make this our sole form of income.
And we entertained you from the shores of Britain.
It's 24/7. It's an American company.
I
can
Anchor,
understand having
Spotify,
to pay.
yeah.
But do we then pay tax in? I mean, we would. Right?
Well,
we'd
have to pay tax in Britain because you're living there.
Because we live there.
Yeah,
and it makes sense.
That's income tax on. Yeah.
It's just we're making an income. We have to pay tax because to support the local economy.
Yeah, you can't live somewhere and not pay tax, even if you're like, oh, I'm working for this Chinese company. Yeah. And I'm Chinese myself, but I live in San Francisco.
But I'm a U.S. resident.
I'm a U.S. resident, mm-hmm. and I live in San Francisco, but I work for a Chinese company. I am Chinese, and it's all Chinese income. Mm-hmm. It's nothing coming from America. It's just, well, yeah, you live in here. You need to pay your due.
Contribute to the economy,
yeah. And also, that's it. That you need to pay your tax.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm. But if you're not living in the US, and you haven't,
we end the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's an American company. Okay, we end the podcast, and okay, I'm living in Britain, so I get a job at Asda. I don't know why Asda. Just
Waitrose. I think you should go for Waitrose.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm living in Britain. I don't want to work for an American company anymore, in theory, because I'm having to pay, tax to America because I'm working for an American company. In my head, that's why why I'm still paying to America. Okay, so I'm living in Britain. I'm American, but I've become a British resident.
Maybe even a British citizen.
I'm no longer. Yeah, I've become a British citizen. And I'm nothing to do with America anymore, except for some family that I still have over there, whatever. I've gotten a job in Britain, but yet the U.S. is still taxing me. Why?
That's enough for a revolution, I think.
Why are they taxing
Overthrow
me?
the government.
I mean. No, it really
But the thing is, like, you people in the US don't know about this, obviously, because it's like most of the people who live in the US are just like, oh, well, they should be paying tax.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably the case. They probably don't care that this is happening to American citizens that are living abroad,
because it's not happening to them. It's
that's their problem.
You can't evade tax just by living in another country.
Well, I don't know if they would even think that. They would just go, that's their problem for living over there. They should come back home, Yeah. But
it's like you're still paying tax. It's like you can't escape America, apparently.
No.
I mean, I wonder
without renouncing your citizenship. And so it's just
I wonder though, how would they enforce that?
What do you mean?
Like, if you decided, if you never paid tax in the US,
you're still an American citizen. They'll come get you, I imagine.
Who's going to come get you? The FBI?
I don't know who it would be. I'm sure
the DEA?
I'm sure the
CIA?
I'm sure there's some sort of agency.
It's just like, that British flatmate that you thought of there, she suddenly drops her accent and she goes, yeah, I've been watching you for some time. You're coming home with me. Guantanamo. It's just like, it's just so, it's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd get a knock on the door from someone going, hey, we came over here, especially for you.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an agency that is, that is in place to go and retrieve people who have been evading paying taxes for years. You know, the IRS is how they took down Al Capone. That's famously used.
But they did that on American soil. If Al Capone was in the UK, they probably wouldn't have been able to get him.
I mean, I don't know.
If he was paying tax in the UK, which would have been very weird. You know, if you think about it, it's like, oh, I'm quite happy to pay tax over here.
In the UK, yeah.
The rates are quite nominal, actually.
It's just unbelievable. I don't know. So I mean, it really brings in the question of, would we ever move to the UK? Because, you know, otherwise Dominic would have to support both of us, or I'd have to be paying tax in 2 places.
No,
I've
looked this up now.
Yeah,
and you can claim tax relief.
Oh yeah,
in the UK, if you're getting taxed twice.
Yeah,
because you know, if you you just have to send in paperwork and everything to prove.
But then what? Then what happens?
You get either the money that you're being taxed by America back from the UK. I don't know. It's such a strange thing. How does tax work? You know, it's like you become a tax lawyer. It's like, okay, well, how are you making that? How does that make sense? If you're getting money,
well, you pay taxes.
You're paying double tax.
You pay taxes,
and you get one of the taxes back. It's like,
your money, you know, that is being taken from you. Basically, your money that you have earned, that you're paying, goes into the economy.
It goes into the economy. It goes
build roads,
infrastructure,
schools, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So fine, you know, and then they give it back to you once you are of retirement age. You can start claiming that money back because it is your money. Yeah. So the government has borrowed the money to, you know,
the government borrowed the money
to invest in infrastructure,
and, well, obviously,
and then if you live long
defense
enough
and everything.
If you live long enough, you get
some of it back. You get a portion of it back.
You get some of it back.
They're not expecting you to get all of it back, but, you know.
to live off of, which, you know, depending on how much you've made in your life, is or is not enough to live off of once you're of retirement age. Anyway, but if I'm living in another country, I'm paying tax to that country because that's where I live, and obviously, you know, I want to have nice roads and in Britain healthcare and, you know, whatever else. That's understandable, but why am I giving money? I mean, I wonder if you get it back. I wonder if you still get it back. I want, you know, Social Security once you get over a certain age.
I can, yeah, I mean, I'd have to look into that more.
I mean, you better.
You better, but it's like, what are you going to do about it? You going to overthrow the government, are you? Think you're George Washington, do you?
And the crazy thing is, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen the other direction.
It doesn't, no. In the UK, if you're not UK resident, you won't have to pay UK income tax. So I don't have to pay UK income tax on everything I earn here.
Yeah.
You know, there's no British man in a bowler hat's going to come
sense.
round to our house and go, oh, you haven't paid us tax, boy.
Which makes
it's
sense.
Like, I think if I moved back to the UK, there's something about, like, me paying tax on the last couple of years' earnings or something. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I it's a rabbit hole. It's a tax rabbit hole. I'm not a tax lawyer.
We're not tax experts.
We're not tax experts by any means. So, you know, you'd have to look that up for yourself, and, you know, if you're interested.
Mm.
I just briefly researched the subject on gov.uk, but yeah, it's basically the same. You know, it's just like, oh, if you're not living here, then you don't have to pay.
Imagine that.
And then if you are living here, you do have to pay.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're in America, you do have to pay if you live in here. If you're not in America, you do have to pay if you're not living here.
Oh, we laugh because it's so horrible.
It's so crazy. But it's like, that's probably why, you know.
So if you became a citizen, if you became a United States citizen, did not renounce your British citizenship,
I'd have to pay tax to the US, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're living here. You're paying tax, but then we decide, you know what? Let's go live in Britain for a few years.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go soak it up over there.
Yeah, why not?
You're now paying tax.
Double tax.
In the United States because
I can claim
you have
tax
become
relief, though. I'm
because
okay.
you become a United States citizen.
I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very strange. It's something
It's criminal. It's not just strange. I mean,
criminal.
You're being nice by saying it's strange. It's criminal. It is absolutely criminal.
I'm sure the Department of the U.S. Treasury doesn't see it as criminal.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, it's like, oh, this is nice money we're getting from people who don't live here.
You know. Anyway.
I think we've done all we can on this.
Yeah, I mean, so basically...
We've alleviated all your tax fears and tax burdens and everything.
So to sum up, would you or would you not become a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
You would, even with the tax. We've just spent the last 15 minutes talking about their criminal tax situation.
It's only money. It's only money that I need to live off. It's only money that I could use to live on. But no, I mean, I would.
You still would?
Yeah.
Huh.
I believe the benefits outweigh the cons.
Because now, I'm considering giving up my American citizen. You're going to become a citizen. I'm going to give it up.
Yeah. And then you get kicked out of the country and I still have to live here. But yet you're still paying tax, even though you've renounced your citizenship. I wonder if you renounce your citizenship, they can still get you on tax because you were born here. It's like the president thing. It's like you have to be born in the US to pay tax here. And that's it for the rest of your life.
No, I think if you renounce your citizenship, then you are able to get out of it. I could be wrong, but...
Well, if you're not a citizen, then you don't have to pay tax to them. Unless you live in there. Living here, I mean.
Oof, I don't know.
Something about not waving the flag or something, You're not allowed to wave the flag anymore. You're never allowed to eat a hamburger anymore. If they catch you eating a hamburger, they'll have you, butler. They'll have you.
Oh my gosh. I think we're out of time. So, thank you very much for listening. And please follow us on all the social media platforms. We are TEABUTTY @TButty. And yeah, and we also have a patron too. That's TButty too, isn't it? T and a Buddy, I think.
Oh, is it T and a Buddy?
I believe so.
It's T and a Buddy, so there you go. Consider being a patron, and we'd love you for it. Like all of our other lovely patrons. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and goodbye.
Bye.